Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. Authorities in Texas search for clues into why a man opened fire inside a small-town church Sunday, killing 26 people.
CBS News has learned a mistake by the Air Force may have allowed the shooter to pass background checks and purchase some of the guns he used.
Meg Oliver has the latest for us tonight from Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Somebody ran in there and started shooting everybody.
More than 24 hours after the massacre at the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs, authorities say they've gathered a trove of evidence in their investigation.
Hundreds of shell casings, more than 15 magazines, 30-round capacity magazines have been recovered.
Part of their probe is now focused on the Air Force after it admitted its Office of Special Investigations failed to report Devin Kelly's criminal history to the FBI, so his name was not in their database.
We're working with them to try to figure out what happened there.
The 26-year-old had received a bad conduct discharge from the force for domestic assault in 2012 and pled guilty to 2 counts of domestic violence a year later. Investigators say Kelly fired both inside and outside the church with the Ruger AR-type rifle. They say the incident may have stemmed from a family dispute.
We know there was conflict between the families, and whether that was revenge or not, it would be speculation on my part.
Officials say they're looking into threatening text messages the shooter sent his mother-in-law before the incident. She attended the church but was not there at the time. Kelly sustained 3 gunshot wounds Sunday, including a self-inflicted shot to the head. The victims who lost their lives range from 18 months to 77 years old. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Among the 20 wounded, 10 remained hospitalized tonight in critical condition.
Vice President Pence will travel to Sutherland Springs on Wednesday to meet with the victims' families.
Police say 2 local girls are believed to be in danger after their non-custodial mother took them from foster care.
Here are the descriptions of the girls. Susanna Gibson is a white 15-year-old female, 5'4", 120 pounds, with blue eyes, brown hair, and a pierced lip. Caden Spencer is a white 13-year-old female, 5'3", 105 pounds, with green eyes and brown hair.
Their non-custodial mother is Tiana Pantaleone. She is a white 35-year-old female, 5'4", 150 pounds, with blue eyes and brown hair. They're believed to be in a black 2007 Pontiac G6 with Montana license plates and may be driving to California. Now, the girls again are believed to be in danger. If you spot them, call Billings Police or call 911. We're learning new information from Billings Police about what went down during Saturday's armed standoff in West Billings.
Police Chief Rich St. John identifies the suspect who was shot and killed and the 8 police officers who fired on him. The end came after nearly 9 hours of failed negotiations with the man who had rammed his vehicle into the front of the Big Bear store. The suspect, 30-year-old Frank Joey Half Jr. of Crow Agency. Authorities say most recently he lived in Butte at a pre-release center.
The 8 officers who fired shots at Half are on paid leave tonight. They're identified as Sergeant Harley Cagle, Sergeant Brennan Woolley, Sergeant Nate West, Officer Steve Swanson, Officer Tanner Beekler, Officer Darren Hayter, Officer Michael Urena, and Officer Ryan Kramer.
Q2's Asia Gore was at this morning's press briefing and has the latest on the investigation. Asia?
Jay and Jeanelle, a total of 58 officers were on scene through the early morning hours of Saturday, including the police, the SWAT team, and bomb squad. It all started at Walmart across the street on King Avenue, where employees say Frank Half was kicked out for trying to steal firearms. Employees alerted police just after 2 a.m. and minutes later, Half crashed his vehicle into the front entrance of Big Bear Sports Center. Officers deployed non-lethal tools like pepper spray and an audio device that releases a high-pitched sound. Chief Rich St. John says officers wanted to make Half uncomfortable and force him out, but that didn't happen. For 9 hours, officers attempted to negotiate with Half, but he would not respond. We're told Half came out of the building multiple times wearing body armor and armed with guns he found in the store and engaged police in a shootout.
Some of his actions were irrational. We know that he showed a propensity to fight and resist. Short of that, I really don't know what his motivation is, but he certainly caused a lot of mayhem, a lot of heartache for a lot of people. In these situations, our officers are victims of violent crime. They are victims here. Somebody used deadly force or threatened to use deadly force, and they were forced to protect themselves or others.
It was after the last exchange of gunfire around 1 p.m. that Half was killed. St. John says there's no reason to believe he took his own life. An autopsy took place this morning, but the results have yet to be released. Jay and Jeanelle.
All right, thank you, Asia.
St. John says he hopes to have the 8 officers back on duty by next week.
That 9-hour standoff forced many local businesses in that vicinity to shut down. Most of the stores in the immediate area took a big loss as police did their work.
Q2's Samantha Harrelson talked with business owners to learn more about the financial impact.
There's so much traffic out here on the weekend that it is difficult to be closed on Saturday. So it definitely has an impact. Like I said, what can you do? It's better to be closed than have something happen.
Businesses all around Big Bear Sports were closed on Saturday as police were engaged in a standoff with a man barricaded inside the large sporting store.
See, normally on Saturdays, that's our busy days, right along with Friday. We do cars. With what was going on, there was no way anybody could get in because they had everything blocked off. So we did take a little hit there, but, you know, safety's first.
That hit cost the King Avenue Master Loop about $5,000.
We did the best with what we had. I mean, in that situation, safety's first, so that's what we decided to do.
Across the way, Clark Avenue Jewelers was also one of the many stores unable to open.
Saturday's a very busy day for us. It definitely has an impact on your business. But by the same token, you know, you don't want to risk anybody's lives or have anybody get hurt. So it was really a good thing that we were closed. I think it's probably one of the craziest things Billings has seen. You just don't expect something like that to happen.
While Hefner says there's no way to gauge the long-term effect on his business, he is thankful for the work by all of the officers on scene that day.
I think from what we saw, you couldn't be more proud of the Billings Police Department. I think they did a great job, and hats off to them.
In Billings, Samantha Harrelson, MTN News.
Thanks, Sammy. And the folks at Master Loop also told us they recognized the suspect, Frank Half Jr., because he had applied for a job in their store the day before the incident.
After weeks of speculation, Governor Steve Bullock has called a special legislative session to address the state's budget deficit. The governor's call, issued today, is for lawmakers to convene the session next Tuesday at the state capitol. But no sooner had the governor issued the call, the GOP leaders were pushing back against some of his proposals. MTN's Jonathan Amberian tonight has details.
Governor Steve Bullock says a special session is the best way to deal with Montana's budget gap.
It's time that Montana leaders fulfill our responsibilities to the people we represent.
The state is facing a projected budget deficit of $227 million due to high firefighting costs and lower than expected tax revenues. Bullock was authorized to make up to 10% cuts in state agency funding to close the gap.
It became clear to me that these cuts would have long-lasting and damaging impacts to essential services Montanans depend on and deserve.
Bullock said he's making a proposal based on thirds. He intends to make $76 million in cuts to cover 1/3 of the deficit. Another third would be paid for with temporary taxes on rental cars, hotels, and campgrounds, and a fee on some accounts with the Montana State Fund. The rest would come from transfers from other funds and other legislative changes.
So what we're proposing is what I think is the closest we've come to consensus on both sides thus far.
But Bullock's announcement immediately drew opposition from state Republican leaders. House Speaker Austin Knudsen criticized the governor for the expense of a special session and said it shouldn't be the first step in addressing the budget.
Let's be clear here. The governor expects the legislature to raise taxes on hardworking Montanans before any effort to reduce non-essential services has been made.
Despite his disagreements with legislative leaders, Bullock said he's confident they will quickly reach a budget framework.
No one believes there's a perfect solution, a solution that'll make everyone happy. But we agree on more than we disagree.
In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Turning to weather, it seems like we are already getting our first taste of winter right now, Bob. I'm afraid to ask when it really hits.
What season are we in? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I got here to tell you, now that we've got officially 6 inches of snow on the ground, we thought we would show you what the official NOAA winter forecast is calling for. And as you can see here, we've got here in Montana, here in Billings, it's going to be a much wetter than normal, meaning probably more snow than normal than what we normally get. And so that could be a very big winter for us. Temperature-wise, odds are about equal that it'll either be warmer or cooler than normal. So basically, we're going to be right around normal for us. Normal temperature for our winter is right around 37 degrees for the high temperature across the state and across the region of Billings. And you'll notice it is going to be a little bit cooler up in the northeast corner of the state. They'll probably wind up with temperatures there on average, probably somewhere in the 20s or so. So kind of cooler, and looks like it's going to be much snowier than normal for us. We'll have details on the rest of your local forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Well, still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, a Billings man lucky to be alive after an encounter with a grizzly bear this weekend.
Plus, also, travels around the world have brought a photo collection back to its home right here in Montana.
And later in sports, Rocky and MSUB square off tonight in women's basketball. Scott shows us who earns the upper hand.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm